friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. Today is an outside day, but I've got to get some things done in the kitchen before I head outside. Thus, the hair is back, no makeup on. This is my favorite kind of day. It is beautiful outside. We are planning on having lunch guests after church on Sunday. Of course, we always plan that. Doesn't always work out, but that's usually what we do. But I wanted to make a taco salad, and a lot of people just cook ground beef, use that as their base, of course their lettuce, cheese, things like that. But I want to show you something that will extend your protein portion of that and make no taste difference whatsoever. People enjoy it, and actually it behaves better. And I'll tell you later what that means. So let's get started. I have about 3/4 of a cup of dry organic pinto beans. You can shortcut this, of course, by using canned pinto beans, but the cost difference, if you're looking at saving money, this is the way to go. If you're looking at saving space in your pantry, this is the way to go. Dry pinto beans take up a whole lot less room than cans of pinto beans. So we're just going to rinse these off real well, making sure there's no dust or any other things like rocks. Sometimes there can be rocks inside the package of beans. We're just going to put this in our slow cooker, and with that we're just going to add some water. Now I'm putting about 2 cups in there. I may have to add more water later, I don't know. Put the insert inside our slow cooker, put the lid on it, and I'm going to take this out to the sunroom and plug it in because it's going to get a little warm today and I don't want it to fight my air conditioner, the heat from this. So we'll cook these up and then we'll come back and I'll show you what to do with these to make this a more economical protein source for tacos, burritos, taco salads, whatever you use ground beef on with your Tex-Mex cooking. So we'll be back in a bit. I just want to show you what the beans look like. I cooked them on high for a while, then cooked them on low, and they're completely done. Don't add salt or anything like that to them. Just cook them, just beans and water, and that's it. Okay, I'm going to put these in the fridge tonight. We'll come back tomorrow, and I'll show you what we're going to do with them. This is the next day. We're back, and I'm going to show you again how to basically double your protein content when you make things like taco salad, tacos, burritos, things like that. So the first thing we're going to do is take ground beef, and I took this out of the freezer and thawed it. So it should be thawed. I wish all packages opened this easily. I didn't even know this could be peeled off like that until recently. I'm used to just cutting a big X in the back and flipping it out and the meat kind of sticks in there, but you can peel those things off. Whoever invented that, thanks. So I have my burner turned on about medium, and I'm just going to use this to kind of stir this up. You don't want it sticking together in chunks or anything. This is going to be a nice smooth mixture. So to this mixture, I kind of have this mix that I make all the time, and I finally wrote it down here a while back because I just kind of do it. It's one of those things, you do enough of it, you just do it kind of by heart or from memory. You don't really write it down. But anyway, I wrote it down just so I could share it with you. So to this mixture, because we're going to have double the protein content, I'm going to pretend that I have 2 pounds of ground beef in here because the other half is the pinto beans. So basically, it's the seasoning for 1 pound of ground beef, but doubled, which would be a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, now remember, we didn't salt our beans or anything, so they're just basically beans and water. So they have to be seasoned. 2 teaspoons of chili powder, and I make my own chili powder from scratch just because chili powder has a flowing agent in it that we don't necessarily need, and chili powder is easy to make, but we will link the description for this recipe. Okay, I need 2 teaspoons of chili powder. If you want to use store-bought chili powder, that's fine, totally fine. But if you want to learn how to make your own, keep it in a jar, and it's fabulous, you can do that. Not to be confused with chili mix. This is just basic chili powder. Now I need a teaspoon of garlic powder. Ground up a teaspoon of black pepper or just earlier this morning. Didn't figure you wanted to sit and watch me grind pepper. And then a tablespoon of dried minced onion. If you have fresh onion, that's completely fine. Just add, I don't know, just a handful of chopped fresh onion. But the nice thing about this is, because the ground beef has that fat in there, and I use organic ground beef, so the fat is actually a good product for your body. The minced onion is going to rehydrate with the fat in the meat, and you get to utilize all of it. You're not going to have this greasy mixture. Okay, so 1.5 tablespoons of dried minced onions. So 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon, and then about another teaspoon and a half. So 1.5 tablespoons dried minced onion. And I'll show you this so you can remember. So because I made my beans yesterday, I put them in the refrigerator overnight since after they cooked. Let them cool down, put them in the refrigerator. Now I set them out a while ago. We're going to puree those in just a minute. Cooking my meat, I'll add these things together. I'll put it back in the refrigerator in the little slow cooker container, and tomorrow morning before church, I'll just plug it in and put it on warm, and it'll be warm by the time we get back home and come in to eat lunch. I'll also do things like shred my cheese, cut up my lettuce, cut up my tomatoes, things like that. And then, of course, I have my dressings made already, which is the Taco Bell mild homemade sauce. And we'll put the link for that recipe in this video as well. The Pancho chartreuse dressing, which is, if you know anything about the Pancho's restaurant here in the South, famous for having this kind of a sweet, vinegary taco sauce that is a chartreuse green, kind of a yellowish looking sauce that is fabulous. And I have a recipe for that. It has become very popular on my channel. We will link the recipe for that as well. So I'll serve those 2 sauces. Some people put both those on there. Some people put salsa on it. Some people just use one of those things. But whichever one you prefer, it'll be good. I can promise you that. I'm going to turn this burner down just a little bit so it won't overcook while I'm not paying attention to it. And we're going to go over here. I'll turn the cameras a different direction, and we'll go over here and saute our, or not saute, puree our beans. Okay, I think you can see this well enough over here. So I took some of the juice out of it that I just cooked it. Basically, that's water that's had beans cooked in it. And here's what our beans look like. Take my immersion blender. If you don't have one of these, you need one. Okay, I knew I was going to have to add some of the liquid back in there, but I just didn't know if I needed all of it, so better to just have part of it in there at first. Almost sound like the batteries were running down there for a minute, but it doesn't have batteries, so just all the beans clogged in there. So you always make sure the head of this, or the rounded kind of a bell part of it, is in the liquid itself. Okay, really and truly, that's all the liquid I need. This is not plugged in, so I can do this with my fingers. Our meat's just about cooked all the way through. I can see a little bit of pink in it, but not much. Oops, get back in there. I'll show some of this final product tomorrow once we come home and maybe get a plate fixed or something, and I can show you what the taco salad looks like. Not that I don't think you know what a taco salad looks like. I'm sure you know what one looks like, but not everybody makes theirs alike. All right, we're just going to put these beans in here. Now, the sneakiest of parents will use this for tacos. I used it at day camp in the summertime one time, and we had one child come through and say, "Do I see a bean in there?" And I just looked at him and smiled, and I said, "Are they tacos, or what do you think they are?" And I never said yes or no if it had it in there, but the kids absolutely loved it. Now, I will say this. Here's the advantage to using this on tacos. Now, never mind, it's great on taco salad. It's great in burritos. But the advantage to using this for tacos is that if you put just ground beef in a taco and then put your other toppings on it, it kind of crumbles out and falls apart and falls off into the plate. But with this, it sticks together like it's a cohesive mixture. It's just really nice. Now, I'm sure there are other people. I can't be the only one who's thought this up. But we lovingly refer to this as beet, which is combination beans and meat. And my daughter, who lives in a different country, asked me what I was doing earlier today, and I said I'm fixing to do the second part of the video about taco salad and using beans and meat. We are big fans of beet. I'll cook this a little bit more just to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Then I'll transfer it back to my small slow cooker. And make sure you don't have, make sure your slow cooker is big enough to where it will compensate for basically 2 recipes of taco meat. Okay, not going to draw this out. I'm just going to put it back in here in just a bit after it cooks a little bit more. I'll heat that up a bit, and we'll be back tomorrow to show you the final product in some taco salad.